Super cool.
Wait, were you at IKEA today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at
was too.
IKEA today.
Yeah, me too. What?
What the fuck? What the actual hell?
Yeah, we were there at probably like noon or so.
Okay.
That was probably the same time my in-laws were there.
Okay, yeah, it's probably about the same time I was there. We were all probably at IKEA at the same time.
I mean, that's easy to do, though. Those places are
guess.
fucking huge.
Wow, welcome
That's
to,
crazy.
Welcome to Rabbit Troop Sucks, where this is not sponsored by IKEA, but it really should
But it could be.
It should be.
Do you like shelves and shelving units?
I do.
Do you like talking about latches and latch accessories?
I'm a latchkey kid.
Do you have a belt made out of latches? Is it a one latch like a victory trophy?
One latch for every kill.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of apropos to the movie we're back to. So welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. Tonight we will be covering from 1998 Small Soldiers by director Joe Dante. And before we get fully into this, I know a lot of us have not seen this film. I think it was like 50-50 in this room. It was me and Mike, and the three of you have seen this?
I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it.
Well, let's jump
Previously.
into some introductions. I'm Paul. Next to me is Mike.
Hello.
Next to Mike is Lamar.
Yep.
Next to Lamar is Jeremy.
Giddy up, everyone.
And next to Jeremy is Collin.
Yo.
So, yeah, Small Soldiers, I guess only Mike and I have not seen this movie. And, I mean, you guys, didn't seem to remember it a lot. Was that what I was gathering from part of our conversations?
Yeah. I mean, I was aware of its existence and I knew vaguely what it was about, but, for whatever reason, it just wasn't on my radar when it came out.
I've seen it once on HBO when it came out, when it debuted on HBO, 2000, 2001, whatever, and just forgot about it. It didn't really stick with me.
Well, let's just talk about that for a second. Remember the world of just HBO?
Yeah.
Not Max.
Those are good times.
Not HBO Plus.
Not streaming,
Not
just
HBO 3.
old school
Just
cable
HBO.
box HBO.
You get what you get.
Yeah.
I did watch this on HBO Max, though.
I also watched this on HBO
I did
Max.
too.
Yeah, me too.
It was maximum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we are a podcast about obscure, forgotten about, and often overlooked films. And yeah, for Mike and I, this was definitely overlooked. This is by Joe Dante, the director of Gremlins. There's another movie I would like to do with this director later this year. I've seen other movies with this director. I'm super surprised at some point in time I had not seen this. Actually, even Collin was kind of baffled when we talked, I think off air. And he was like, no, I think when you start watching it, you'll remember it. And I was like, I thought that too, because I watched about 15 minutes of it, I don't know, a few months ago. That was all I watched. And I was like, I have just never seen this movie ever. And those first 15 minutes, full of David Cross, I would definitely have remembered. I did not. I just have never seen this movie. It's crazy. And then, Jeremy, you've seen this. And Collin, you've seen this.
I haven't seen it since the year 2000, maybe, or before.
Would you say in the year 2000, like Conan O'Brien?
In the year 2000, I watched Small Soldiers.
Yeah. And Collin, when do you think the last time you saw this was?
We might have seen it in theaters.
So in 1998.
Yeah.
But not
Very
since then.
nice.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were a small soldier yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why I remembered kind of liking it.
I mean, Jeremy was texting me that his son was a small soldier.
Yeah.
In my mind, this
different
was
reasons.
one of those movies that was kind of there was another movie that came out at the same time that was the same thing, like Ants in a Bug's Life.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was another movie that came out around this time that was the same movie.
Yeah.
But in my mind, there was. That's a useless statement.
No, you might be right, because there's a plethora. Let's face facts. Toy Story really launched the whole plethora
It did,
of all
yeah.
these movies. And I think Toy Story came out in 95, 96, something
95,
like that.
yeah. I thought Toy Story was the one that it came out adjacent to, but I mean, that was 3 years
And I
later.
think after 2 or 3 years after its release, we've seen just an avalanche of these movies. And this one stood out because of kind of the way they animated it, the realism of how it blends in with realness. I don't know. We're going to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, let's go with this director. There's a movie I'm going to not say in this list because I want to do it later.
All right.
But again, Gremlins 84, Inner Space 87, The Howling 81. Yeah, this guy's, especially in the
So many
80s.
of my notes are about the movie that we can't say.
It's kind of funny. I know the movie now. Okay. I'm looking forward
Really?
to
You
that.
could say, what is the movie?
The
Well,
Burbs.
Burbs.
Oh, that is not the movie.
Wow,
I
okay.
referenced. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
sorry. There was good call.
Huh.
There was just so many on this list. Yeah, that is not the movie either that I'm referencing.
I gotta really
Okay.
get this list then.
But no, yeah, and the Burbs. I mean, Joe Dante is like super known, especially in the 80s. And you know what? Like, I don't know everyone's view going into this film, but there's a lot of notable people yet again in this film. And I have to imagine it's because of the director. Everyone just seems they're like having a great time. Like, hate or like love or be in between in this movie, there is no point in time I think any of the cast members are not just like having a good time.
That's true.
It just seems like really energetic.
Yeah.
I think with this cast list, these are just people who have a good time on set anyway. I mean, you see them in other movies and they just look like they're always relaxed and playing goofy, oddball characters and seem to like it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we're going to get to a bunch of characters, but let's note some of these people in this film. We get Tommy Lee Jones as Chip Hazard. He's going to be the voice of the lead army guy. We get the voice of Archer. Is it like Frank Langella, who's Skeletor?
Skeletor, yeah.
I'm going to call him Skeletor for the rest of the movie. Like this. You play Skeletor. You are Skeletor. The Skeletor. Kristen Dunst. This is crazy. You know, I was watching this with my wife, and I just don't know about adult Kirsten Dunst. Think about all the movies she's in.
Yeah, she fell off the radar.
Well, I kind of, for me as a viewer. So, Jeremy, I'm glad you're feeling that too, because I was like, because my wife was like, what do you mean by that? And I was like, well, think about all the movies she was in. She was in Interview with the Vampire, and immediately, like, everyone in public was like, oh my God, and she kissed Brad Pitt, and she was like this huge name. Drop Dead Gorgeous Lamar, I will gladly do for this podcast at any point in time. Drop Dead Gorgeous about beauty pageants is an amazing film. She was in Jumanji. Are you kidding me? And she was like in a ton of other films that I remember around this time.
Yeah,
But
she was in more mainstream media back then,
Right.
and I think she still works now, but it's more like independent.
She was
stuff.
she was in Fargo, and she was in she was like in her own TV show for a couple of seasons in like 2019.
She was in Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I feel it was like she did this stuff. She did Spider-Man, and I was like, I personally never saw her after that. But then if you
probably
look
because
her
she's
up,
still making. She probably makes like $4 million a year off of just fucking Spider-Man royalties.
well, Jeremy, like I think she was like up for awards in Fargo, the TV show. She's in multiple episodes. I don't know. I never saw Fargo, but then again, she was in another television show for 2 seasons, and I guess that was up for massive awards. I was like, I haven't seen any of this.
She's in that new Civil War movie that's coming out.
Boom. So there's I don't know what's happening.
I think she started doing a lot of like indie films.
I mean that's great. I just saw her,
It's those
and
Spider-Man royalties, dude.
it just
Do
really made
whatever
me
you want now.
Yeah, it just really made me think. I was like, cool. I saw her in like a decade's worth of films, and then just personally never really saw her again. I was like, I looked her up. I was like, wow, she has just, I guess, a complete audience shift. Which good for you. I mean, you're now an adult actor, so
She's married to Jesse Plemons.
yeah. And then they do stuff together. I think Fargo was one of those things.
Yeah.
Well,
Then-
they're married, Paul. Of course they do stuff together.
Adult things.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Fargo things.
If you hit us up on Patreon, you could talk about our webcam. I mean, never mind. Well,
Oh, that's still
for
running?
Patreon. That's for Patreon.
Yeah. This is streaming right now. By the way.
David Cross in a talking role, which Mike will like.
Yeah, they gave him lines.
In the Cable Guy, we last saw David Cross, Cable Guy 96. Mike not super happy about that. Jay Mohr, also here.
Jay Mohr was present. Yeah. He didn't do his Christopher Walken impression, which is a shame.
Plays Larry.
Yeah.
We get a bunch of other people too. Dick Miller.
Dennis Leary, don't forget.
Dennis Leary.
Stand-up comic and actor.
Yeah, Denis Leary is kind of in this movie for a few minutes. Dick Miller is Joe. He's the one who gives the kid Alan like the toys
Also
to begin with.
Gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The trivia is he is in all of this director's films up until his death. Until his death. 2019, he died at the age of 90. He is in, I believe, a cameo in every one of those movies.
Wow.
I thought I read that at some point in time. I'm trying to think who he is in The Burbs, but I'm sure he makes a cameo somewhere.
Yeah.
Phil
Yeah.
Hartman.
Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah, he's the mailman in Gremlins, so that's a lot of fun. Phil Hartman, yeah.
Ernest Borgnine.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of we got a whole eclectic crew.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah. Oh, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Christina Ricci have some of the just. Like, if you're not having fun in this vocal role, like, are you kidding me? Yeah, we'll do the Gwendy Dolls.
One of the Gwendy Dolls, I don't know who it was, had my favorite line of the movie.
Oh, I can't wait to hear
Yeah.
it when it comes up. I can't wait.
Yeah. Mike, Mike recently was traveling around. Mike, were you able to watch this at home, or was this on an airplane?
No, I watched it on an airplane.
Were people around you like, what is this awesome film that you're watching?
Yeah, the obese man next to me that was half in my seat also was really wondering why I was taking notes on Small Soldiers on my iPad.
You must really be into this movie,
What
man.
did you tell him? You should have.
I didn't say anything to this motherfucker. So this dude, like,
Yeah.
I got an exit row because I wanted more room. They couldn't have picked 3 bigger people to put in the exit row together.
Oh man.
This dude was like 6'4", and like I'm not like fat or anything, and neither was he. They were just like we're as big. When I went to get on the plane for my return trip, I saw him waiting to get on the same plane, and we made eye contact, and we're both like, "You got to be fucking kidding me."
Oh my! After all that,
But
damn.
he was in a different exit row this time. So
Okay.
dodged a bullet.
One of the last times we flew back into Denver, my wife and I just remember like a couple rows behind us, the couple was talking about how like their flight was delayed and now they're ready to eat. Like there was like, our flight was delayed and this is terrible. But clearly through my observations, they were holding on to snacks until they were on the plane. And then they took out yogurts and they smelled like they were waiting. And I was like, come on, that's not, it's not the travel snack you want to just take out of your.
Just hot yogurt. Yeah.
Tuna fish sandwich.
That's nice. Nice plate of Brussels sprouts.
Cabbage stew. just like this movie, Cabbage Stew that we're watching. I really like the character Cabbage. I thought he did well. Napo did good. So Globotech, hot new industry, producing some toys.
So are they a defense contractor that bought a toy company?
Yeah.
Is that what
Yes.
I was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Mike,
As one does.
Mike, I was very confused about the beginning of this. It is not really well done.
No.
You get David Cross, who's Irwin, and you get Jay Mohr, who's Larry. And I thought they were competing. I did not know they were on the same
Correct.
side.
I also thought that.
Because there was a lot of like jokes like, let me show you how it's done. Like, you're never going to get this. And I was like, why would you say that to your partner? Like, that's...
Because you're a dick.
I was like, all right. So, yeah, cool. So, yeah, they're pitching to Denis Leary, Gil.
Can't remember his name. Was it?
Hey, Gil.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they're like, we got these toys, and he's like, I'm not super into David Cross's toys, but Jay Mohr's like, let me show you how it's done, and he's Larry, and he's like, we got this guy, his name's Chip Hazard, and he's like, oh, can they really talk? He's like, no, because they show him this commercial. He's like, well, I want the toys to actually talk. He's like, okay, well, I can't really do that, and he's like, you're part of the Globotech family. You have access to all of our supplies. You signed this contract. We're going to hire you on, and you should do it.
You'll get top secret access to all our shit.
Yeah.
Immediately, here's like full government clearance to. Yeah.
Sweet business. David Cross, Irwin, is immediately against this idea. He's like, I don't really like this. Like, we're working for the government. There's really no indication of why. Again, I didn't really know their partners until they actually walked in the hall together.
Right.
I was like, oh, because I thought it was going to be David Cross had a toy line, which is sort of different.
Right.
And Jay Mohr has a toy line, which is more like G.I. Joe. And then I thought it was going to like get meshed together, but like somehow like in the factory. But like from the get-go, they're like, no, those are the bad guys. And David Cross, Irwin, is already defensive. He's like, no, they're not the bad guys. Like they're just misunderstood. And somehow that thought is implanted into the plastic and programming through the rest of the film.
Even in the context of the toys, they're not the bad guys. They're just like the indigenous people that get murdered by soldiers.
Well, they were pitched as like an educational tool.
Yeah.
Right. Denis Leary did not like them being an educational tool.
I did not.
These kids are getting too goddamn smart.
Denis Leary is going to leave.
Yeah. They're monsters. Hunt them down.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, and so
Well, the main one kind of looked like a Tauren from World of Warcraft, and they are Horde, so
Yeah.
fuck them.
He was of all of the little animated figures, Archer was the best.
absolutely. So Skeletor,
And that was Frank, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
the
that was Frank.
You say his proper Christian name, which is Skeletor. Yeah, so Frank is the voice of Archer. So immediately, as noted, they're like, we're going to give you immediate access. They really tried to dig themselves out of a hole here. This is the one area I told my wife, I was like, why could they not have written anything? They're like, well, we can't. So here, okay. So Jay Mohr from the get-go was like, well, these toys don't talk. And Denis Leary, the CEO, said, well, you're part of the company.
Yeah, dig around in the parts bin. You'll find something.
So he just goes online and looks up microchip and puts it in, which that I just couldn't look past that. You just got microchips do different things. You got microchip. So he's like, that will work. So they did some kind of software and put in microchip. And they got access with their nice little Easter egg gizmo as their password, their user ID. So that log in as gizmo.
Also, who is sitting down at a toy company and thinking like a missile guidance system chip would be perfect? That's
the thing. So to give Jay Mohr credit, he didn't know because he put in microchip. What the hell was that?
He also put state of the art.
Yeah, well, he wanted the best
state
one.
of the art, Paul. They only had one.
And so one microchip shows up, and they're all acting like that would just do what they needed. Like, I need something that's programmed to move plastic and to make it talk, and it's programmed with voices, and it does all this stuff. So that just happens to me, this microchip, right?
I feel like for this movie to work, we really have to just suspend our disbelief
At
here.
least for that.
Because
scene.
at one point, 5 toys build an army of tanks and helicopters out of things from a garage.
Mike, I mean, so they had unlimited access, and my just thought was
state of the art microchip. Remember that?
Well, why couldn't it have just been like an error that he selected the proper thing, but then because they're also like a government like war profiteering company, they're like, whoops, we put in the wrong chip. Like, why was there just one mic? I can't get over it.
It's because this movie is poorly written and
Paul's
stupid.
walking out.
I just couldn't get over that. Like, someone should have been like, dude,
Was this your big... Because there's many parts of this movie that I was like, what the fuck?
I think
This was one of them, to be sure, but...
I was in it when I rewrote it in my mind that there was a mishap in the warehouse and they got the wrong microchips, and then that made sense to me. And I was like, okay.
How about this for a little bit of headcanon? So, like, this was the microchip that they couldn't actually use for the military.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that's why that went,
Which you'll find out
regardless
later.
of what they searched, this is the chip that would have come up.
Right, and it learns. Like, that's why I say they try to dig themselves out of a hole, but it still doesn't make sense. Like
Paul,
what Collin just added is like
don't-
worsens it.
No, it totally makes sense. It's like
The search query did say state of the art. So
Literally-
that sums it all up. Right
Guys,
there.
literally nothing in this movie makes any sense.
Yeah, okay.
If we're going to hang on this, we're going to have a rough time.
that's very true.
What can we call Mike?
there's other things
Mike
I want to have
Chip.
a rough time on.
Could he be Mike Chip for the rest of the episode?
Mike Chip.
Like
Okay.
Chip.
Yes.
God damn it.
Good old Gil. I'm gonna rust right up on you.
Fucking Gil.
Well, Gizmo is Jay Mohr stealing passwords and I guess user IDs.
Oh, yeah, because he couldn't remember his fucking password.
Yeah.
So he used David Cross's.
Which is password means also user ID in this movie.
Right. It's the one credential you have. No MFA here.
Yeah, you get. Oh, it's one and the same. And they put in the X1000, and as Jeremy has noted, it's state of the art, and these things just get built, and that's kind of where we're at.
I like the building scene when they were doing the first Chip Hazard. So Stan Winston did the character designs, and that first scene where you see the skull,
Like the Terminator thing.
Yeah. The way it's like looking around with its mouth open, that is very
cool.
Gremlins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Like a lot of the effects are actually, especially for the time, I thought pretty well done.
Yeah, Mike, I could not agree with you more. I think looking at this, there are scenes where we will see these toy soldiers running around. If it's in daylight and a lot of things are going around them, you could see the age of it. But there's a lot of more night shots. And I mean, 20 plus years later, I think this movie visually holds up pretty well.
Yeah, this
Oh,
director
definitely,
has
yeah.
a way of shooting scenes that have been kind of iconic to me since I've seen Gremlins that really stand out. And I feel like maybe 40% of this movie feels like Gremlins.
Yeah, well, this movie is Gremlins, but with toys.
Did any of you read the trivia? A shout out to Jeremy, who was watching this movie Predator recently, that the trivia was they wanted basically everyone from Predator to voice the cast.
Right. But they couldn't get them, so they got Ernest Borgnine.
Well, wouldn't you?
Well, I would have started with
TLJ.
him, but yeah.
I don't think it was a far reach. You were like probably talking about this. You're like, I don't think we could get the cast of Predator, and they're like, Ernest Borgnine's eating bread at the table next to us. I'm like, I'll
He's
ask him.
fresh off Airwolf.
I'll ask him as I go past him when I need to use the restroom.
He'll work for a sandwich.
He did, and he did.
He went right from dirty work to this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Well, Tommy Lee Jones was a good. I mean, if they couldn't get Predator cast, I mean, if you want him for a
One
drill
thing-
instructor, I think he was a good choice.
No,
Yeah, I
I completely agree with Lamar, and I also like the way in this movie how they made Tommy Lee Jones read his sentences like one at a time, like they were independent. And then when they linked them together in the movie, they just linked like pre-recorded independent sentences as if it were,
Like him radioing.
like a robot,
and-
like
yeah.
a toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun in this film, especially when they kind of all come together. I, kind of just thinking about this movie, so we did not watch this one together, but thinking about it over the last couple of days, I just really appreciate like this movie because I don't know if it could really be made today. This was clearly a PG-13 family-oriented film, and I'm like, good job for everybody, because I thought it was a lot of fun. That PG-13-ness just really gives it more of an edge. But at the core, it's still kind of a family film, and I really dig it for that reason. So I just really can't think of a modern film that would be comparable.
We have this conversation a lot about what PG-13 is these days, and just kind of, it's in the void, really. It's all a blurred line. I can't, like you said, I can't point to a movie that's PG-13 these days either, unless they go all the way raunchy or make it too kidsy.
Yeah, there's like some high school movies I feel that are like released on Netflix that are very PG-13, but a PG-13 family film,
Yeah, that's rare.
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't know. I feel like PG-13 movies now, it's always a compromise. It's like they really wanted it to be R, but they knew they wouldn't sell tickets. But PG-13 back then, it was like, we're going to make kind of like a raunchy family movie. And that was, I don't know, kind of the norm. I don't know, maybe it's because I don't watch family movies very often now, but I feel like you don't really see that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know how this did in the box office. I don't know if anyone read any trivia about that or...
Look that up.
Yeah, like I even looked up if there was like a toy line, and it seemed like a handful were released, like no nothing. I was like, wow, that just seems like it would have sold itself.
Well, honestly, like if they had released a full-fledged toy line around this, it would have been clear that this was made to be a toy commercial.
Right.
And I almost bet it was a conscious decision to not do that.
They made 2 video games from this.
Really?
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you play any of them?
No, I just read it on IMDb.
Interesting.
Well, we're gonna get
And
on.
Tommy Lee Jones did the voice in one of the video games.
Wow.
That's cool.
As Archer. Just
Really?
That's cool.
Well, we're gonna get a whole switch up of cast here, where we're gonna meet.
Do well.
We're gonna meet Al. It did not do well.
The budget was $40 million, and it made worldwide $54 million, which I feel like would not constitute a success.
Yeah, it took over a period of 20 years. I guess
yeah.
took to get that money back.
Opening weekend was only $14 million. That seems seems
that's
low.
a big
Yeah.
loss.
Wow.
98
What
was a
went
pretty
wrong?
stacked year for movies.
It was, yeah. There were a lot of good movies.
And oversaturated with animated talking stuff and CGI, and just a era for that.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna meet the kid, all the kids. We get Alan, who's working for his dad. And his dad is basically kind of runs like a toy puzzle game shop, kind of like the small town version of Anything Goes, probably card games, stuffed animals, stuff like this. His dad apparently is very against any toy soldiers or war toys or anything like
Anything
this.
that anyone might want to purchase.
I was kind of confused at first what store this was. I thought it was like the General Mill, because I thought it was like, and they're also selling like little flags. I was like, I don't know, this is where I buy a flower and a flag.
He plays his dad plays the exact same character as the dad in Transformers.
It is the same actor.
It is the same actor, but
yeah.
I think in Transformers they're just like, just do what you did in Small Soldiers.
Yeah,
all right, action.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, he's also in Veep. So,
I love him in Veep.
Yes, in Veep, imagine him more angry and just the most profane person on earth. Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, Alan's doing stuff.
It's a weird general store he's working at. You're right.
Yeah,
I think I
it's
saw
like-
a box of cereal over there too.
It's like one of those weird, like, bougie toy stores where they sell, like, handmade shit that no one wants to play with, but it all looks cool.
Yeah.
There's, like, a Viking boat that looked really dope, but, like, I don't know.
That Viking boat would come
Yeah,
into
like an
play
antique.
later.
Did you say antique toy store?
I didn't say
that's
antique,
what
but
it
it kind of feels that way, sure.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I thought it was an antique store.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this kid.
Yeah.
I do too, dude. I have notes throughout this movie.
Alan
I'm like, this
fucking
is a fucking
sucks.
idiot.
Have any of you ever watched Everwood? I have not.
No.
No.
That's his like big claim after
All
this.
right.
And
I
that
don't
was
know
like
what
with,
that
it was
is.
with
Treat Williams.
Chris Pratt.
It's about a kid who just takes a magical Viagra.
It's whatever you want it to
Sick.
be.
I don't know if I want to see that.
All right.
It's kind of funny. You're going over the cast list, and you didn't mention him. He's like the main actor in this movie,
Well, now he is.
I mean,
Now he is.
I don't know what his name is.
Alan.
No, but like the actor's name.
or his main role. I'm sorry, not the actor.
And I have no idea anything else that he's been in. I did not recognize this guy at all.
Yeah. So he's just surrounded by a bunch of great actors,
Gregory Smith.
noted for stuff, and he's just a nobody.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess he kind of runs the toy store when his dad is doing other things, which seems to be most of the time.
He's antiquing.
Yeah, he had to go on a business trip, but he forgot his fucking plane ticket because he's a dick.
And also, to pronounce it correct, it's antique.
Antique.
Because that's like who you're related to.
So our friend Dick Miller shows up. He's the toy delivery guy. He's like, yeah, I got this new Commando set or whatever.
I love Joe. Joe's super nice.
Yeah, Joe is super nice. And the kid's like, man, I wish I could get a set of these. Like, maybe we could sell them and, this store could make some money. And he's like, what if a set fell off the back of the truck? What if you stole them from me and I didn't tell anybody?
Butterfingers.
And that's what happens. He kind of slips him a deal and gives him a full set, which is like maybe 12 individual toys.
Yeah.
Joe's a nice guy.
Joe's a really nice guy.
Yeah. I like Joe.
Yeah.
Stealing,
Yeah.
dealing,
Doesn't mind skimming a little off the top.
skimming,
Yeah.
Yeah.
penguin.
He doesn't have any loyalty to the company he works for right now.
No,
anyway.
he didn't give a fuck. He's a
I also
liar.
like how he's like, all right, I'm going to give you a full set. And then they immediately like just start opening the fucking toys.
Right, yeah.
He starts
Take it out
dicking
of
with
him.
him right away.
It's no longer mint condition.
Turns out they're voice activated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. So he starts talking to one.
Well, they've got state of the art microchips.
That's
They
true.
do, yeah.
What's the first one he unboxed? Archer.
It's archery.
Yeah. He bonds with him.
Yeah. They
Hello, Alan. I've bonded with you.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, what's bond in the other room?
My name is Archer. I'm the arch bitch ass of the whatever my people are called.
The Gorgonites.
The
The
emissary
Gorgonites.
of the Gorgonites.
The whole time through this plastic,
How dare you?
I wanted to bond.
We bond for life. Gorgonites bond for life. No,
Yeah, and
okay.
immediately the toys, they start fucking bitching to one another. Like, you fucking little pussy. Like, we're going to kill you.
The soldier toys are dicks.
Yeah, and that's the twist we soon learn, that the soldier toys are just brutal and they want to kill all the Gorgonites. And
Yeah.
Archer's super not into that.
No, Archer isn't stoked about it.
Alan, I'm not into that.
Alan. Sorry, every time you say Alan like that, it just reminds me of Jurassic Park 3,
Yes.
where the raptor on the plane is like, Alan.
Oh God.
Alan, I am a
I'm
Gorgonite.
sorry.
Alan, let's dress up as Gorgonites later.
Yeah, they
Alan,
do.
what kind of sodas do you like?
Are you a pleasure model?
Alan, how do you like your ice chipped?
Well, so while these toys are kind of dicking around in the back room,
Get to meet Christy
yeah, Kristen Dunst,
and her brother.
yeah, and her little wiener brother show up. Alan wants to bone Kirsten Dunst real bad.
Yeah.
Apparent immediately.
I kind of did too back in the day. Like in 1998, I had a crush on Kristen Dunst.
Yeah,
I
fair.
did.
I felt very indifferent, just like super indifferent. But that was like the mystery for me, Jeremy. That I was like, wow. Thinking of it, I saw her in 5, 6 really notable films. Then she just kind of disappeared for me. And then I looked her up and I was like, wow, she's like totally doing a bunch of indie stuff and like up for a lot of awards. But yeah, like I know a lot of people thought that. I never thought that. I was just like, I guess she was just like always kind of a kid because she was in like a lot of kid stuff that I watched. Jumanji.
I was a kid back then too, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
She wasn't really my type, but I mean, I can see it.
Could Alan see it? Hello, Alan.
Oh, he sees it.
He sees
I'm Alan, and I see it.
Alan, I was in the jungle watching you and
Oh wow,
your maneuvers. My people.
the
do
jungle
not,
maneuvers.
My people do not like this, Alan. Alan, you are failing. Danger, Alan. Alan, I'm just gonna go.
Show her no mercy, Alan.
Alan did not like that.
What was? It doesn't matter what the fucking brother's name.
I don't
was.
think he had a name.
No, he sucked. But they were there to get him a birthday present or whatever. And he's like, this toy store
he's a
fucking
spoiled
blows.
bitch.
Yeah, there's nothing in here I like. Which he's right. I would have
exactly.
thought that toy store blew too.
I mean, honestly, that's really crappy, but I totally agree with you. I know it's just crappy to say, like, but I'm in total agreement.
Right, like everything here's made out of wood. Like, do you have a fucking Ninja Turtle somewhere?
It was 1998. Like, if you were a kid that age, you're probably like, I want a Nintendo game. I want a
Right.
Super Nintendo game. I want a Nintendo 64 game.
Yeah.
Like, that's what would have been happening.
Well, because he's a piece of shit, he runs into the back room and he sees the toy soldiers toying around.
Who are these toy soldiers, Alan?
He's like, oh, fuck, that's what I want.
To be fair, they were making a racket back there.
They were making a racket.
Arguing and shit.
Yeah, what? He gets shot with like a crossbow or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, ow, this is dope. I want this.
He loves it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. In this movie, violence is action.
it is, yeah.
Action sells. Come on.
Yeah.
Kid.
Yeah.
According to Denis Leary.
Yeah.
Gil. Good old
Gil.
Gil.
Yeah, fucking Gil. That guy sucked.
What if he was the same character from Judgment Night?
He does. He gets a rant in. They give him that
Oh,
opportunity.
you got
It's Denis Leary. I mean,
It's in his contract.
right.
Add a note at the beginning of the movie. He's leerying as he's going on his little rant about how kids want action. They want to be out in the sun. They want to feel the breeze. They want to play with the soldiers. And like he's leerying again.
And then he takes out an acoustic guitar and plays asshole. I wish he did that.
Yeah, if that happened, that would have been all
That would
right.
have been great.
Those kids fucking around the back as they're trying to flirt in the front room.
Yeah. And so, they're cutting deals. Kirsten Dunst's like, hey, can we come back and like get that toy because he really likes it? And I was like, yeah, this one's defective. I'll find. Oh no, it ran off or something. There was just the packaging.
Yeah. And
Couldn't find it.
and Archer
Toy ran
Archer's
off.
in his
Yeah.
backpack.
Archer was in his backpack. He's like, I'll find it. You can go pick it up tomorrow. Now get the fuck out of my store.
My name's Alan.
Well, he had to get home to give his dad the plane ticket.
Yeah, he had to run home to give his dad the plane ticket. That's right.
It was crazy though, right? Because there's 6 other soldiers that he could have picked from, something like that.
Yeah, well, no one wants the other ones. They all,
Yeah, but he didn't see the other ones like acting up in the back room.
that's true.
I
Also,
didn't see the other ones.
the other ones look fucking horrifying.
Yeah, those smiles, man.
The
What
the
fuck?
mouths on them is bonkers.
I think
Like,
they
could you
all
imagine
look
waking
horrifying.
up and like that's in like a rocking chair in the corner of your
No.
bedroom? You're
Fuck
fucking done, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, mom and dad, guess who's sleeping with you till I'm fucking 23?
Toodaloo, Christy. Remember, it's me, Alan. I'll give you a ring later, dear. Toodaloo.
There's this one with a cigar in his mouth that you just think would be really cool to hang out with.
Yeah.
Behind school.
Yeah. In school.
Which one was that? What was his name?
Cigari.
The Gary
Big
Weaver.
Cigari. They all looked horrifying.
Sigourney Weaver, did you say?
Hey, Alan, it's me, Sigourney Weaver.
Was that Ernest Borgnine?
It probably was.
So
he prefers the Borg.
let's run through their names really quick. Kip Killigan, Butch Meathook.
They did have names, didn't they?
Yeah, Brick Bazooka,
Yep.
Meat to the knees.
Nick Nitro, Link Static. Link Static was like the nerdy like radar guy, I think.
I remember him. That's
It was literally the fucking crew of the Predator.
Yeah.
Everyone's actually getting acquainted as Mike's actually rattling off these names. We also get Archer awakening at Ellen's house. He's like, "Hello, Ellen. I've learned your name. Shut up, Ellen," because there's some things said. But simultaneously, Chip Hazard awakens all the soldiers, and they break out. And he's like, "We gotta go kill all the Gorgonites."
Yeah.
And then the Gorgonites wake up, and they're like, "This does not
kill us because we're big pussies." They kill one of the Gorgonites.
Is that when they don't get up, Mike? They don't get up.
Oh, they ain't getting up from that.
I also want to make note here, and this is where the kid starts like getting on my nerves. Like this is a toy that is now interacting with you in a way that no other toy has. And this kid's like, I'm going to be a fucking asshole to this toy.
Yeah, this kid was also getting on my nerds. He kept eating all my candy. I'm like, listen, you little son of a bitch.
Yeah. Like I said, this kid sucks.
Do I think you have candy money just going out? Yeah, of course. Yeah, like, hello, Alan. Like, what kind of toy are you? I'm kind of a unique toy, Alan. Like,
I'm conversing with you.
look, okay, cool. You know what is cool? In my Encarta disc, which is reference.
Oh, you mean Alan, the keeper of Encarta? Yeah. Well, yeah, because Archer goes all like Lilu Dallas multipass and learns the history of the world by watching his Encarta
Big
DVD.
bada boom.
Big bada boom.
Yeah, these cultures and their big bada booms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was on the internet at first, and I thought, wait a minute, he just has Encarta.
Yeah, no, he's just got the fucking Encarta.
Well, he's getting woke one way or another.
Oh my God, 1998 internet? Get off the internet, friend. Like, I wake up to that bill, I'll strangle you.
It's $100 a minute.
Right, you're connected to AOL or like Prodigy or something.
I just recently saw like some mid-90s video advertising the internet, and it was like the school promo video, and it was like things you can learn from the internet. I was like, I learned about the rainforest. It was like I learned about like different countries. I wrote my pen pal in Australia, and it was like all this stuff. I was like, oh my God.
You can play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, someone did say they're like, you know,
Nice.
20 years from now, the internet's gonna be on my phone. And I was like, huh.
Interesting.
I'm like, they stole your idea.
Yeah.
Toodaloo, Christy. Toodaloo.
Did that commercial also have a kid break into a door with a surfboard and like, I'm going to surf the internet? And I can only picture that. And he jumps in the air and there's a CGI effect of surfing the internet. I don't know. I picture
Probably.
that from old 90s commercials.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that
Now we
happened
use
at
the
some
internet
point.
for watching people beating and hating on each other. It's amazing.
Or beating on themselves, depending on your preference.
Well, the next day, Alan goes back to the store, tangential to nothing. And he's like, oh no. And the store, it looks just battered.
It's
and
trash.
But hear me out. It's not, because apparently everything just fell over slightly.
Yeah, they knocked some stuff
They
off the
tossed the
shelves.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, like gently.
Like a bunch of if it was just cats walking around knocking
Yeah,
glasses over.
like if cats were knocking yarn balls into baskets of yarn, that's what was happening.
The only thing that's vandalized is the Viking ship for some reason.
Yeah, there's this wooden Viking ship, and Alan's like, no, my dad will notice, and they kind of haphazardly put it together. But Christy's there because she wants to pick up the toy for her brother. My parents agreed. We had a family meeting about the birthday present, and now he's going to get them. But Alan says, no, they've been stolen.
Yeah.
And it was because all of the Commando Elite, which are the small soldiers, have broken out. And with this, you think the place would be tossed, but it's almost a little montage where Alan and Christy get to know one another, and she's like, I'll help. And it's really nice.
They're cleaning up.
But like, it's like, she's literally like, I don't know where anything goes. And he's like, oh, no,
whatever.
it goes there.
No one cares.
Yeah, and she just puts it all back up, and the store actually somehow looks nicer. Like, I don't know.
It does look pretty good. They also can't find the Gorgonites.
Yeah.
With the exception of Shaka Khan or whatever the fuck that one's name was that they killed.
Destroyed.
They killed Shaka Khan. The rest of them they couldn't find because they were hiding like little fucking pussweeds.
That was the real
Yeah,
shot.
and then the dad shows up again.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, "You break my fucking Viking ship, you piece of shit!"
Son of a bitch.
He's like, he'll never know.
Yeah, but you know what? Like when we
Immediately
find
he
out
notices.
later,
Yeah,
we find out later that this kid like kind of deserves to be.
Well,
fucking,
yeah.
the
So-
dad stomps in like Bowser, and like instead of a breath of fire, he just goes chode, and breaks down that he gave birth to a chode.
So
In front of his chode son's soon-to-be girlfriend.
Damn.
of all the of all the things in this movie that are not realistic, when this kid's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of a badass. Like I got kicked out of schools for doing badass shit," I'm not buying it. This
That's
kid's
true.
a fucking wiener supreme.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's like a whole
Yeah.
kind of that whole kind of plot of like he's like new in town because his family just moved into that house.
Okay.
But they own a fucking toy store.
Yeah, he owns his toy store. It's like this kid never got kicked out of school. He's probably homeschooled,
Yeah.
and like
Probably.
they moved down the
They
street.
kicked him out of homeschooling because he fucking sucked.
Yeah, they're like, you gotta get out of the house for a couple hours.
Colin, I've been puzzling at an 8th grade level since I was in 2nd grade. That's how badass I was. Like, put together the wooden pieces. I was like, already did, sweetheart.
And what family moves to a new town is like, how are we gonna survive here? Like, I don't know, dear. Like, I'll open up a shitty toy store.
shitty
that
toy
nobody
store.
buys
That's
anything from.
I can't.
No
even,
one ever thinks
Oh,
of
I
that.
can't even imagine.
And
a
their
family
house is
moving.
kind of nice for fucking opening up a shitty toy store.
Like, how would you even move? Like in current times, would it be like,
Oh, God.
don't get dysentery? I don't know how much flour to pack. Are there rattlesnakes out there still?
No, I pack nothing. I use kerosene in a fucking single match, and then
You burn all your belongings and then start over. Yeah,
You got like a star, friend.
yeah.
that's how I'm moving from here on out because I have moved enough to where that seems more
Yeah.
a better route to go.
If you want to talk about it, Lamar's been calling it a smooth Francis for the last.
The old smooth
Goddamn
Francis.
Smooth Francis.
That needs a lot of explanation.
A smooth Francis.
It requires no explanation.
Lamar's been throwing
Yeah,
out
I'll just let
smooth
it go.
Francis's, and Mike has, in weird voices, been like,
The smooth, I mean,
It's a combo.
the beauty of the Smooth Francis is it can be whatever you want. Is it a dance move? Is it an attitude? Is it a cocktail? It's
true.
yes. The answer is yes.
It's everywhere where you want to be.
It is, yeah.
And more.
we call it Christie's choice.
Christy's choice was the be in Bad Boys. I think she's into Bad Boys, isn't she? Isn't this how this all starts?
Well,
She is. She likes older guys.
She likes
Yeah.
older guys. Yeah. When we find out that this dude's apparently a badass that set his school on fire or whatever, she's like, I like older bad boys like this chode with a motorcycle.
He shows up at the right time.
Right.
I'm pretty sure she actually
Billy
said
with
she's
the
not
zits.
like the other girls.
She 100% said
Ah,
that she's
yeah,
not like
that
other
was
girls.
that's a cringe line.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect time for it. And his name is Brad too. That's
Is
awesome.
it? Of course it was.
Brad rolls up on the
Yeah.
red motorcycle.
I like Brad.
We also get a Wilhelm scream.
Oh, we had
There's
a couple.
two.
Like,
I think there's at least two.
Yeah, I actually wrote that down. Yeah, so while Kristen, or whatever the fuck her name is riding off on the back of this chode's motorcycle, Wiener Kid rides home on his actual bicycle. And one of the Commando Elite, whichever one it is
Bazooka.
a bazooka?
Is he the guy with like the wide smile?
Oh, but so many of them have wide smiles.
No. He's got like the
This
Joker
one
really-
stands
Oh,
out.
God.
Yeah, he's
a
like
gorilla.
the fucking munitions guy. or
Yeah, I
whatever,
like that. I like that guy because he
bombardier.
looks like the Joker. Like he.
I
Looks like,
hated all of how they looked.
Oh really? I thought.
The mouths I couldn't get past because like they
How,
made
how was the mouth feel?
the mouthfeel was toothsome.
Yeah,
Were they eating spinach?
yeah, a lot of
They
teeth.
might have been. Well, like they made Chip look normal, and then everyone else looked like a fucking maniac freak. Same thing with the fucking
The Gorgonites.
the Gorgonites. Like Archer looks like a normal creature, and the rest of them are like fucking aborted ghouls.
I don't know what your problem is. When I roll up with a crew, I want to be like, hey, and people are like, I'm gonna mess with you, and I'm like, I rolled up with a team of monsters. and then people don't say anything. Like, whoops.
I do like
Only normal looking people can lead their groups. All right.
Correct. Yeah.
I do like aborted ghouls as a name for a book or something.
The aborted ghouls.
A metal band.
There you go.
It'll be in a font that no one can
Alan's
read.
really upset about all of these ghouls, and he calls the company and leaves a message. He's like, "Oh my god," and threatens a lawsuit. And
Well,
then
he talks
hangs
to
up.
Sherry O'Terry, who's their customer service representative.
That's right. She was from SNL.
Yeah, she was.
and gets nowhere. And
Yeah, it was kind of the riff on it because he's talking to a real person. He's like, "Can I just talk to a fucking machine? Because I'm not getting anywhere with you." that was good.
And eventually this message gets back to Larry and Irwin, and Irwin is kind of freaking out. He's like, I think some things like went wrong, and maybe we should kind of like see what's going on. And he's like, yeah, we're just gonna write it off on these chips that we used. And they're like, that doesn't seem right. And then they kind of realize, I guess these chips aren't okay, because as I said before, not all microchips are the same.
No.
I could say that actively as someone who knows nothing about microchips, but enough to know that.
They're like snowflakes.
They're all different.
They're all unique. Yeah.
Yeah. I eat them in cereal.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Microchip cereal.
Yeah, I wash my hair sometimes with them.
Yeah. The chips in Chips Ahoy are actually microchips. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a small part that really set the scene when they were like leaving the store and they were following them. One of the small soldiers was sitting in a tree, just like dropping bird eggs out of a nest.
Yeah.
Really set the tone that these guys are a bunch of dicks.
They are
Yeah.
dicks.
Yeah,
There's a lot of dicks in this movie.
But they do follow the Wiener Kid home. And they capture Archer.
I don't like being captured, Alan.
Alan, they're capturing me.
Alan, no.
Lord Encarta,
Alan,
fucking help.
In a former life, I was Skeletor. Do you know that, Alan? Alan, look it up. Look it up in an Encarta.
What if that information is in Encarta?
It probably is.
It is.
How many CD-ROMs was in Carta?
So
8
fucking
million.
Was it just two? Like a
What?
dual disc.
There was someone Jeremy and
Our
I.
entire knowledge base at the time.
There was someone Jeremy and I went to high school with, and in our English class, I can't remember what he did, but he had to do something for extra credit, and he no joke printed the Encarta page, put his name on it, and it even said Encarta, and got full credit.
Nice. Very
So
nice.
this is before, like, this is what we do with Wikipedia now.
Oh, I'm sure even if today that teacher saw it, that he would have done the exact same thing. It was clearly like you turn in you turn in
what this kid's staying behind.
Yeah, you turn in paper. That's all I needed to see.
Yeah.
Your name's on it. Good for you, Encarta.
Honestly, like, you print out Encarta now, like, whatever filters you run it through to make sure it's not plagiarized, they're not hitting that because they don't know what Encarta is.
Yeah.
It's foolproof. Pro tip, kids, plagiarize from Encarta.
You got to go back in time to
Yeah.
go in the future.
If you have the ability to read CD-ROMs from 1998, you're good.
Right, I'm sure the historical and sociological perspectives of 1997 and 8 Encarta are really spot.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're in the South, you can get away with it.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Do you need Encarta CDs? We got a racket.
Yeah.
Damn.
That like we buy in bulk. We sell $5 in Encarta. We buy 5 cents in Encarta, and they got to pay shipping. Done.
Perfect. Foolproof plan.
Schemes run deep.
It's the perfect crime.
Holy crap.
Just like Small Soldiers, perfect crime.
Yeah.
It's me, Alan, and
Alan.
they took me
Yeah.
so far away.
Well, no, so during this little kerfuffle, Wiener Kid's parents kind of catch him or something. I don't know.
They captured.
They're not happy.
Yeah, they captured Archer and Alan finds.
They take him to the kitchen.
Oh,
That's right. Yeah,
He's dangled.
the soldiers are trying
He's
to
fighting the
trying to
soldiers.
dangle him into the fucking garbage disposal. He saves them, but the parents walk in on
The
him.
parents. The mother and the
Father.
Thank you.
Oh, the mother asks him if he's on crank.
Yeah.
That's one that it's a very cable guy shout out. Are you taking the pot? Like I need to ask you a serious question. Are you taking crank?
Are you on the crank?
Got that
Smack.
crank.
Are you doing crank? Are you cranking it right now?
They were.
He was.
There's crank all over your pants.
Man,
She also asked if he's on the tar or the crystal or something.
she was oddly specific
Yeah.
and went for really gnarly drugs right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, you have any crank?
I mean,
to
he's
sell?"
admittedly talking about toys coming to life and talking and like doing weird stuff. So
Yeah.
Finally, a mom standing.
Yeah. Do your job, Mom.
Get him the crank that he needs.
Right. But he sweet talks himself out of this and realizes where the rest of the Gorgonites are because they're big pieces of shit cowards. They're probably hiding in the dumpster, and that's where they are. He finds them in the dumpster.
They're designed like trash and built like
Right.
trash. They're where they belong.
And they're like, "Hey, Alan,
Are they going to get up from that, Mike?
no."
He's like, I don't know if they're where the Gorgonites are, but I found these aborted ghouls in the trash back here.
Fucking Gorgonites.
He found them in the right place because this is our intro to the Gorgonites, and they're immediately just hateable.
Oh,
to
yeah,
me.
they all suck.
Big fucking pussies.
You can see them come to life, and there's the voices alone. You can tell that they're trying to just be comedic and slap happy and silly.
Well, one
but
of
it's
them's
just
like
on my
fucking,
nerves.
so like an old 40s stand-up comic. He's like throwing out one-liners left and right.
He's just straight up. He's like the Mask.
Yeah.
He's straight up
Like
just
Rodney Dangerfield.
can't shut it off. Like
It's a
making
shame.
noises
'cause,
for
like,
no reason.
They had such great voice actors for the Gorgonites, and they fucked it all up.
Yeah,
Like Harry Shearer, Michael McKean,
dear Lord.
Christopher Guest.
Yes.
Come on.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah, right? Like some heavy hitters there.
Yeah, again, like or dislike this film, it always makes me think with this kind of cast that everyone loved the director. Like you can't assemble a
You
cast
wouldn't have
like
agreed
this.
to it otherwise.
Yeah, because it just seems like, hey, you want to be. There's like so many cameos. It just seems like he made calls. Like you just want to be in this. Yeah, right. Cool. Like I would. Great.
I fully believe that, yeah.
Yeah.
But then we go back to Alan's room. He's like, I'm going to get all you Gorgonites here. And Christy calls.
Yeah, Christy does call, and I think this is where she drops the "I only go for older dudes" line.
He's like, I found the lost toys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Ellen, Christy. I found the lost
Hello,
toys.
Christy.
Hello, Christy. It's me, Ellen. I found the toys.
Alan's still trying to get in there.
Ding dong.
Yes.
She's like, well, I'm officially dating Brad. What does officially mean, Christy? What?
What about superficially?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's all I'm hearing. Welcome to Rabbit Troop Sucks, Christy.
Like, yeah, you know, if Brad was really that committed, he'd have put a ring on it.
You think his motorcycle's all safe? Wait till he falls off, Christy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna like that.
Didn't
No.
think Alan had all this in him.
Yeah.
He
I believe even Christy has like a little motorcycle too. And
She's got a fucking moped.
you know,
She
better
calls
than
it a
Alan's riding
motorcycle,
around
but
on.
like, let's be
Yeah,
clear.
that's what that is.
Well, the fucking, what are they called? The Commando Supreme Elite,
Commando Elite.
Commando Elite.
Commando Elite.
They're tapping the phone lines or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Sir, the woman is leverage. That's his weakness."
Well, they
Or whatever.
they were like, hey, a
Plus he has
weakness
his
is
weakness,
a
sir.
weakness is old as time. And he's like, we could use this because he's hitting on Christy.
Yeah. So they kidnap her, or try to anyway.
Well, Christy Fimple.
Christy fucking Fimple.
is
Is that what's their last name?
Fimple.
It's Phil Hartman.
They're the Fimples.
Phil Hartman's her dad, and
Yeah,
then she has
right.
like an
Phil Fimple.
Phil Fimple.
Phil
Phil
Thimple.
Phil Fimple.
Yeah, he's got a big
Dave.
satellite dish.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Hey,
And we're going right to Phil's house right now.
The Fimples. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're at the Fimples.
Yeah.
They break
He's got
in.
the cable guy stereo system rocking in his house right
Yeah.
now.
he pretty
that's
much
true.
does, yeah. But because him and his wife are both alcoholics, the Commando Elite drug them with sleeping pills, which put them out right away.
Yeah, this is like really the turn into the PG-13 movie. I thought it was kind of tame up until this point in time.
Where they're, like, catapulting
It was
Xanaxes
over the
into their gin
counter
and
sleeping
tonics.
pills. So
No.
that makes PG-13.
Well, also it's like now they kind of amp up like their war games too. Like all of this is like the beginning of PG-13 because everything up until this time was just like broken toys. There's not really any profanity. I knew there'd be no like nudity or sex scenes.
drugging is where it's PG-13.
I think that's stage one. Stage one is the drugging.
There's also a montage of them
Drug the
assembling weapons on a cart.
Yeah,
That's
so-
that might add into the
So they're going in.
PG-13.
Yeah, they're going into the garage and they're MacGyvering and A-teaming their way into new technologies like razor blades and things that actually like do some serious damage to people.
Yeah,
No longer
they build like tanks and shit and
Yeah.
helicopters.
They-
They tie up the little brother and hide him in a closet.
They also
He liked it.
He did like it.
Yeah, this is leading into the best part of the movie, which is them discovering the Barbies.
Yeah, it was also noted that they had bombshell dolls, and that was what Christy had. That she secretly have them, and
these soldiers want to get with the Barbie dolls.
So this was, I mean, I liked the character of the Barbie dolls. This was the stupidest part of the movie for me.
Yeah.
the
Where they Frankenstein the Barbies?
Man.
Yeah, and they Frankenstein the Barbies into
With
Gwendy.
fucking muffin tins.
Yeah, Gwendy dolls. They become Gwendy dolls.
Well, so like the conceit of this is they have one of their comrades has fallen.
Yeah,
in
Nick
battle.
Nitro's.
Nick
they have his
Nitro's dead.
microchip.
Yeah, so they take his microchip and they're like, we can use this to make more soldiers.
Because that's how microchip works.
Correct. So
That's not how any of this works, by the way.
using an microchip, they create an
With a
army
satellite
And a
dish.
muffin tin.
Oh,
And a muffin tin.
and a muffin tin. Yeah, they create 100 functional Barbie soldiers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gwendy dolls.
25 Barbies.
And Gwendy dolls are voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar and Christina Ricci,
Right.
and the stuff they say is super
Amazing.
fun for me.
It is amazing.
It's magical.
But how do they move? Because the small soldiers are like
release your-
are robots with batteries in it. That's
Mike,
explained.
we've already
Release your disbelief.
God
we've
damn it.
already talked about microchip and how microchip
so Mike,
works.
it's just all microchip.
Gotta let that go, Mike.
No, but I guess I mean Paul had his moment at the beginning of the
What are you
movie
talking
with how
about?
stupid
I let
this
it go.
is.
True. That's true.
This is my moment. It's
Okay.
like what
you
like,
ain't gonna
come
get
on.
up from that, Mike.
This movie did not get up from this.
Did you get to the name of the Gwendy dolls?
No.
They're called cannon fodder Gwendys.
Okay.
And I thought that was hilarious.
Well, I mean that's what they're used for.
yeah.
And they go for Christy quick.
Yeah, you gotta let
This
that
is
one
also
go, Mike.
a Led Zeppelin song plays here.
How?
Yeah.
Communication breakdown.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
the world,
Okay.
That's
did they
where
get?
that's where this budget went.
Well, I thought there was like copyrights where like Led Zeppelin like notably like did not give a
Yeah.
lot of their music to anyone, and I have no idea how. Like the only other movie I can think of at this point in time like close to it is Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and that's because like there was a connection of like knowing Led Zeppelin, but beyond that, like I have no idea how they got communication breakdown. I was like, oh my god,
There's a piece of trivia about it.
how'd they do it?
I don't know. It doesn't say because the trivia sucked.
Yeah.
It's just like this movie featured music by Led Zeppelin,
Maybe
a
paid
band
up.
that is notorious for not letting movies
Yeah, that's-
use their music.
Yeah, that's super true.
Thanks, IMDb.
Yeah.
Maybe paid out the ass for it. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
a friend. I mean,
Or
everybody.
they're
has
just like,
fun.
hey, I'm Joe Dante.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm picking up.
Hell yeah.
Like, people are like, I totally just want to chill out with this dude and be on this film. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, yeah. So these dolls go right for Christy. During this, fucking Chad or whatever his name is,
Alan? Oh, Brad.
Brad sneaks
Brad,
into
yeah,
the
he
house
comes
and he
in.
sees the parents passed out. He's like, "Fuck yeah!"
He's like, I'm going to go
He-
bang this girl.
No, he hears her scream and runs back in.
Oh, that's right. He
that's
does.
right.
But he was thinking of ways to get back
You
in
guys-
before.
Yeah.
Oh, he was. He
yeah,
was.
yeah. And he bursts in. He's like, "You're such a major hottie," but then he gets attacked by fucking Gwen dolls.
And he's out. He's like, fuck
Oh,
this.
yeah.
They overpower him. They set his pants on
They
fire.
set his pants on fire, and you never see him again.
Yeah.
Is he dead? Because like his motorcycle's still outside.
Oh, he did.
Oh,
that's fine.
Did he not get up from that?
He did.
Well, that's how the
not.
that's how the Barbies.
Oh, he's dead,
That's how
friend.
they don't have batteries, so they have to feast on human flesh. So yeah,
I mean,
Brad's done.
you don't need to explain that. Mike, I think, now understands how microchip works. I said it from the beginning.
I'm learning. Yeah.
Once I was given microchip, I became part of microchip.
Yeah.
As we all are, a collective of microchip.
We must all become.
We are
microchip.
microchip.
Well, so Christy has had enough of this shit, and she starts wrecking shop.
Yeah, with her.
She
like,
does
little
get up
cheerleader
from
baton.
that.
Yeah, so she grabs her cheerleading baton, starts beating the shit out of people, and this is my favorite doll line. They're like, "Run! She's got a baton. It's a baton death march." And I thought that was super solid.
And yeah, Christy gives a little kiss.
But they get her.
Yeah, Alan rescue
Alan does rescue.
You
yeah.
rescued me.
Well, before
And they're
that
getting
though,
out
they
of the house.
launch a fucking like VHS ransom tape, like Taliban style,
They
over
do,
from
yeah.
one window to the neighbor's house, using some kind of barbecue implement.
Yeah, they do.
That's how you do it old school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, they get outside, so they're running around, and one of the Commando Elite basically corners Alan, gets him down on the ground, and it looks like what you would hold the ends of corn husks with.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is.
He loaded, so one of the Commando Elite loads him up and just launches them directly up and down Alan's leg. And that's when I know
That would hurt.
This movie just became PG-13. Because it's not just a little. It's not like he got one. He got like, right up the leg. And I was like, you probably wouldn't be getting up from that.
Here is also my thing right now. Like, I feel if this were like, let's put yourself in this scenario, and you're just like one person, but you're also like a big person.
Okay,
I feel like you could have
Jeremy,
ended all this.
Let me get in the
immediately.
mindset. I'm walking down.
Yeah,
I'm a big guy.
you see
walking
tiny
through.
toys.
Whoa!
Like you have maybe a broom. Maybe
Oh my God.
Like whatever.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna get a broom.
You are going to be able to annihilate these things, even if they're shooting little corn cob holders at you. You will fuck these things up, man.
True.
Like there's nothing that's going to stop you from doing that from the tools that they have, other than maybe that chainsaw thing. But you can like just jump over it, like fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck
the nail
this.
gun
Yeah,
tank.
that's the thing that drives me crazy about this movie is how easily they could have taken these guys out.
It's the classic question: who would win in a fight? 100 ducks or a horse or whatever that is.
Is that the classic question? I don't know.
The classics.
Tell it
yeah.
to me, Alan.
I think it's 100 ducks or
Why can't you beat them, Alan?
what is it?
Are you a little bitch, Alan?
Can't remember how that goes.
A duck-sized horse or a.
what sounds even worse? But I know what you're talking about.
I
Thanks,
don't know what's happening.
But everybody in this movie sucked at fighting dolls. I mean, Brad sucked. I mean, they literally killed him.
The mom was the best.
Oh yeah,
The mom was the best at it. She had a tennis.
She
Was
fucking
that
Agassiz
mom.
the
Yeah,
scene?
mom wasn't having it. Yeah, she gets the tennis ball racket and they're trying to launch like explosive balls, and she's just like knocking them right back. Yeah.
Who would win, a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Oh,
There
that's
you
it.
go. Yeah. All right.
Where? I mean, I know you're looking at something, but where does that even come from?
That's like
I don't know, but
That's like a classic internet question to
Yeah.
ask.
I googled horse-sized duck and I
Yeah,
found this.
like
that's
a
how you get
meme.
into Harvard if you answered that correctly.
It's true.
You're granted access.
Any Ivy League school lets you write
Lamar,
in.
Lamar, I'm a little more nervous that you're like, that's a classic internet question. I was like,
Because I
don't-
debate that a lot.
I'm going to ask, in my next interview, I'm going to ask this.
And you'll get that job. Or you'll hire whoever
Yeah,
answers
I'll
the question.
hire whoever got it right, yeah.
And you will not get the job, but that night you'll wake up to 100 dead ducks in your bed.
Maybe more.
100 duck-sized horse heads. It's like an adorable little Godfather.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Okay.
Trauma by Karen.
Yeah. So what the fuck's happening?
Gwendy Dolls.
Gwendy dolls.
I'm just
Yeah,
kidding, I'm throwing that
they're
out.
everywhere.
Alan shot. He's down.
They escape on a moped.
You're down, Alan.
Alan, stay down.
Yeah, they scooter off. That Christy, I love her super white scooter. She gets on her moped, and they bolt off. And yeah, the Commando Elite are going after them, especially Chip Hazard. But they kind of shake him, and he flies off, and there's this massive explosion.
Yeah.
They think he's dead. I don't really know why. I would.
I would have made sure.
Yeah, I
Oh
would've
With all
hunted
the
him
hassle
down.
that I've been
Yeah.
having for this day, I would have made sure they were dead.
Yeah, I mean, you just double back really quick.
Yeah.
And just like then beat him down with a stick.
But they don't.
Because he ain't dead.
No,
it
he did get
exploded.
up from that.
He did explode. There was an explosion. He was next to the explosion.
He floated down a river and thankfully found a truckload of the rest of his friends.
Oh yeah.
Because they're recalling them. Because thanks to the voicemail that Wiener Kid left, the toy company knows that these things are all fucky.
Wiener mail.
Yeah. And,
Wiener Mail is
have you
a
ever got
different
Wiener Mail?
product.
and
All the time, Jeremy.
then yeah, so Chip is not dead. He is alive, and we get to see Christy's parents, who are super doped up right now. Phil goes outside to, I guess, oh no, this is a little bit.
Negotiate.
Yeah,
He's waving the white flag.
yeah. Chip. I'm sorry, I kind of skipped over. Chip does roll up with the army, and the army is attacking the Fimple's house. And Phil goes out to negotiate. He's like, "Come on, man, we've got the Gorgonzolas. Like, it's totally okay." But yeah, Christy's mom.
They're actually attacking the kid's house. The Fimple's house is next door,
Oh,
and that
that's
comes
right.
into play later.
Yeah.
That's right.
The parents went over to yell at Alan's parents to be like, your psycho kid tied up Timmy or whatever his name is and kidnapped our daughter.
Hey.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so yeah, that's where Phil Fimple tries to negotiate, and the Commando Elite just aren't having it, and no negotiations, but they blast Wannabe by the Spice Girls real high, and they go right into that house, and they try to wreck shop.
Well, they do wreck shop a little
They
bit.
do.
That was
An adorable little shop.
That was a tactic used by. I think they even mentioned it. To
I'd
lure
like to
out
talk more about
Noriega.
the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
Well,
Yeah.
like that song, it says, "If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends."
Yeah,
like,
if you want to fuck her,
who's
you have
that
to
down
fuck
with
all
that?
her friends.
Oh boy.
You gotta work your way up the ladder.
Yeah.
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 Hey, willing to do the work.
Round 3, Scary Spice. Can you take it?
I hope so.
Well, tell your wife that you've just entered the octagon, my friend.
God.
Yeah.
just a couple gentlemen, waxing philosophy about Spice Girls, Anything can happen nowadays. That's the Chip Hazard Archer way.
All right. Sorry, I fucking sidetracked us on that.
Well, the Commando Elite open fire, and Alan's parents basically tell Phil Fimple to run, and that's where Mom is knocking tennis balls back, and she is just knocking the holy shit out of them. She Mom is a new woman. Yeah, Mom's
she's energized.
Mom's not having it.
She's like the mom in Gremlins. She's sick of this shit.
Yeah,
They hung the dog up outside, and now she's fucking pissed.
She's got a good backhand too. Which
She
is
does,
a
yeah.
tennis racket deal.
this movie really is Gremlins.
It is exactly Gremlins.
and then Archer shows up. He's like, "Hello, Alan.
Hello, Alan.
I must defend the Gorgonzolas."
But we're programmed to lose. But if we fight, we'll lose. But we have to fight and then lose. Program.
and then it's Archer
Yes.
versus Chip.
Yeah.
It's like a high wire act. They're up in the air.
Yeah. And per his programming,
you fight-
Archer loses.
Yeah.
Well, and you find out like earlier in the movie that these chips are susceptible to EMPs, and
Right.
so
That's why the
they're gonna-
military didn't want it.
Yeah, they're going to cause an EMP with the transformers on this power pole that has been shown like 3 different times throughout the movie.
Yeah, it's not a problem. You just need to put in a microchip.
Yeah, little known fact. If you touch a transformer, you create an EMP.
If you put in microchip, I don't
You
understand.
sorry. You have to use microchip. Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
So yeah, microchip is stem cell.
But just
stem
any
cell
microchip?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe.
microchip.
Yeah. Exactly.
The X1000 microchip.
Yeah.
Also, Irwin and Larry showed up at some point.
Oh,
to,
yeah.
They had to give them
Well, like
the
we got your
plan.
phone call.
yeah, they've been there for a
EMP.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very inconsequential.
we don't know where Archer is. He's been kicked off. We kind of think he might be dead.
He might be dead.
He might be Giants, but he might be dead.
Yeah.
Most likely dead.
Yeah.
But he's not.
He's not dead.
Oh, he's super dead.
Okay.
Nah, he's not dead.
Oh.
Nah.
Those little fimples.
Got him.
Well, a satellite dish when it's hustle. And to kind of summarize it, what happened is all of the Gorgonites were covered by the satellite, and the EMP goes off and just destroys everything about the Commando Elite.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
no, we don't like this. I now talk like I'm in tar.
And even the Barbie girls, they get destroyed, even though they have no electronics in them whatsoever.
Right. But they were somehow walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had
they're battery
microchip.
powered.
They all had one
Listen,
chip.
again,
There
Guys,
you go.
they stood in front of satellite dish that had microchip that shot a beam.
They did a
into them.
couple lines of microchip.
There you go, Jeremy. Now we're talking
It's coming together.
what Mike
Damn
needs
it.
to understand. We send Mike in the mail a line of microchip. He will appreciate it.
I will.
That
I
won't
will.
pass customs at all.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, so well, we did it. The Commando Elite are no more.
Yeah, but the Gorgonzolas are fine. They wake up.
They're like, well, they're kind of like frazzled. They're like, Alan, is your name Alan? And he's like, oh no, Oh, bonkers.
Oh, bonks, bros. It's me, Alan.
Dennis Leary, he comes in, he lands in the middle of the street.
Yeah, he lands his fucking helicopter.
Just quiet everybody. He's like, "Shut up!
He's like, here's some money. Fuck off."
All right, kid, I don't need a permit for this. I'm going to go off on a rant. Here's this woman. She's going to pay you in a check. Oh, you don't like that? Okay, here's some more money. So you don't like what's going on? What my attitude is? We're going to buy some of these. And then we're going to put some chips into some other people. We're going to go terrorize some other people and sell to the government. Money. That's Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
Boom. You did it. You got Leary.
Yeah.
It was at that moment I was basically like, no one is going to learn their lesson in this movie.
And
are
they didn't.
What is the lesson in this?
Nobody should learn their lesson.
Don't fucking put microchips and little
Don't
toys.
microchip.
Don't microchip.
This last scene was actually opposite Leary because he
Microchips
just
are
comes in and
killing.
buys everyone off for the silence.
Yeah.
But then he says he's going to send them to like an organization like abroad. And he's like, they're going to like these toys because he's going to like
They're gonna
kill them.
Yeah, sell them to the army.
Add a zero. Like, how much are we selling these for? Add a zero on it. Ship it
There you
overseas.
go.
Yeah.
And then, Christy and Alan kiss and everything's great. But then there's one more scene and it's, the boat, the wooden boat that they have and they're near some kind of creek and he's like, Archer is talking to Alan like, "Hello, Alan, it's time to leave." And they leave off in a very Lord of the Rings style. He's like, "Yeah, but you go like,
Puts them
stay
in
with
Cherry
us."
Creek, and he's like, "All right, guys, enjoy your night."
There's like an RV in the background. This is the least believable scene in this whole movie.
Yeah. And then they go off like the elves. And that's the end of the movie. The Small Soldiers. And
That's it.
we're going to tell you a little more about it. But if you would like to hear more about movies or movie fun or movie fantastic things or just, you want to hear those soldierly notes that we've talked about with Mike, hit us up at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com or go to our webpage proper, rabbittroopsucks.com. There's pictures, there's links, there's merchandise. You can listen to our podcast that way, or I keep chuckling to myself, there are so many other ways. YouTube is now the way that once was Google. There's everything to do with iTunes. Mike once said, if you need a small child to assist you to get you there, that child will show you how to use a podcast app. But yeah, we're also on Instagram, and please just hit us up on, or Facebook too. Please let us know how you like us with that 5 out of 5 rating. We always like to hear it, so it helps. And what everyone think of Small Soldiers.
Let's have the people who've seen it before go.
I'll start.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
go. You go, Lamar.
All right, I'll take it. This is going to be quick because I kind of like this movie upon my second viewing after 20 years. I'll throw this thing on. It's kind of long. 2 hours, was it? Hour 50, if you're down
Yeah,
for
like an
that.
hour and 50.
Yeah, it was something like that.
As usual, you can slice out another 20 minutes of this movie with some scenes. Not a lot of scenes could be cut, really. That would make it better. I forgot to mention there's a scene at the end of the credits.
Oh.
It's only a short scene. It's a tribute to
Is
Phil
it
Hartman.
really?
It's a tribute to Phil
Oh, I
Hartman.
didn't see that.
Oh, okay.
It's just a little outtake, and credits say for Phil. So I like that little thing out for Phil. I can't remember
Was
what
this
year
his
he
last
passed.
movie?
Probably.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna look that up while I'm reviewing.
In the 90s, he was the voice of Gigi in Kiki's Delivery Service in the American version. Oh, and there's one last thing I need to say before everyone goes around, too. When missile technology is used to enhance the action figures, the toys soon begin to take their battle programming too seriously. Small Soldiers, 1998.
Now we can start the pod.
Yeah.
But we're talking about.
They did take it a little too seriously.
They did. Yeah, they really did. We're a podcast that reviews movies that have been forgotten. This movie was clearly forgotten. I totally forgot about this movie until we brought it up in our what movie should we review, and I just remembered, wow, in 98, 99, I remember that movie, and I watched it recently, and I already forgotten about it, but it's all right. I don't hate it. I'll pass it on to you, Jeremy. What did you think?
Yeah,
of
I'm right
this?
there with you, Lamar. I had fun with this movie. I think I had fun with it back when I was like younger, back in, like I said, 2000, when I was coming right out of high school. But I remember renting this movie, watching it. I had fun with it. It's ridiculous when I watched it again. Yeah, there's so many things that are just ridiculous about it, but it doesn't make it any less fun. I would recommend watching it once if you're into something like this. If you're into like a PG-13 of Toy Story or something like that, give it a whirl. But yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's fun, and I enjoyed watching it and talking about it with you guys.
Have your boys seen this?
No, I was actually thinking about doing this for movie night tonight because we did like fucking Lizzie McGuire and the Teenage Kraken tonight, and I was thinking about doing Small Soldiers, but I had already watched it and took notes this morning, so we didn't do it.
Yeah. If they ever watch it, I'm kind of curious what they would think.
Yeah.
Colin, what did you think?
I thought it was still pretty fun. I liked a lot of the like background one-liners that I definitely wouldn't have picked up on as a kid.
Yeah.
Like for a movie with one-liners, especially compared to like last week's, which was atrocious generally across the board. This is peak writing. But I think, it's one of those ones where I probably wouldn't spend time watching it again. Like Jeremy said, definitely worth watching once if you're into this kind of thing. Get a feel for it, and then probably just forget it in a week after.
It's not a hateable movie, though. Bro.
No,
right?
yeah,
Like,
definitely not.
Yeah, I kind of just echoing the same vibe. My last comment was fun B family movie.
Hey,
Did I have fun
perfect.
watching it? Yeah, totally. Is there clearly problems in the writing with microchip? Absolutely. Was I able to suspend my belief and just have fun? I did. There's a lot of notable people in this film. This movie's super quirky. I like almost like all the things the director has done. Would I actively go and seek and watch this movie all the time? No. I'm like exactly what all of you were saying. I had fun watching it. It's clunky in areas. That's what I said. Fun B family film. But going back, there's just not a lot of films like this, like in modern times that I could think of. Again, yes, there are PG-13 rom-coms and stuff like that, but family films that are PG, just kind of a rarity. So it's kind of cool to see. I hope there's more of them in the future. But yeah, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing that you guys have all said. I had not seen it before. It was fun. I enjoyed watching it. I don't know why you would ever pick this over Gremlins because it's the same movie and Gremlins is so much better. I guess my two biggest issues were one, microchip. I guess I'd rather have the driving plot point be like fantastical and just
like they were possessed by a demon.
Yeah, like some shit like that. Just like get it out of the way, have it be improbable and move on. Rather than trying to like rationalize it with technology. That only makes it less believable because it just goes so off the rails.
But they could have just written that the technology could have been like swapped out. It was so, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, they could have solved for it, I guess, but like it was just stupid. And the other thing, like just the whole time, I felt this movie was really like it was so much less than the sum of its parts. You have all these great actors. You had all the voice actors.
There was a lot of talent.
So much talent. And like, I mean, we mentioned earlier how all of Chip Hazard's lines were like kind of like little one-liner things that were strung together because that's what he was programmed for. But like, I just felt like they wasted Tommy Lee Jones's time. Like, you had all these great actors, and all you can come up with is like, "Let's go, troops! Fuck that guy in the," or like whatever the fuck they were saying.
Yeah,
like they could have let these guys loose and said and just had the voice actors had more fun. I think that would have been better for me. I don't know why the fucking Gorgonzolas were such fucking puss bags. They were just
That's what they were programmed to be. They were hiders.
I don't know. There were just so many design like decisions in this movie that made it worse that could have just been easily reversed, and I didn't understand why.
All right, perfect.
Mike, do you think we could ever have a segment here and there on the show just called Tommy's Time?
Yeah. If Tommy wants to just call in and
That's
rant
true.
about stuff, that's fine.
And we'll give him his time.
Hi, welcome to Tommy's Time.
I kind of do think that a lot of the weaknesses of this film could have been overcome if the Gorgonites were freaking sweet.
Yeah.
Like, if they were cool, then any crimes this film did would basically be forgiven.
Yeah, like if
and then by the time they grew some balls in the movie, like it was like a literally 5 seconds of them like kicking some ass, and then it was done.
I mean, and it's just really sad because I just watched them float down a creek, and I was like, man, they're just gonna be messed up by a badger that night. Like a raccoon's gonna tear a head off.
That's accurate.
Right from the creek and right into the reservoir.
Right.
Yeah.
Whoops.
But this movie was all right. I understand why I didn't see it. I don't need to watch this one again.
I'm really impressed by the special effects still. Like the idea that this came out in 1998 and these are the special effects.
Yeah.
I was
Dude,
like, super
I've seen like made for Amazon movies that came out last year that look worse than
I
this.
know, like what's happening?
Yeah, they did a good job for sure.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's just sloppy writing.
Yeah, yeah, and I totally agree with Mike. I mean, like, and Jeremy, and all of you guys, like, this is kind of Gremlins redone, just like reskinned.
Yeah, it's Gremlins with toys.
Yeah, and I have fun watching this. I'm always going to go back to Gremlins. Has anyone watched the animated Gremlins show on HBO?
No.
I should watch that at some point in time. Yeah. I think it's more for kids, but I think they're short. I think they're supposed to be like 7 or 8 minutes. I don't know why I haven't seen any.
That's adorable.
Well, next week, we're going to be coming at you with 1985 Silverado. Has everyone seen this film to some extent?
I have never seen this movie.
No, never.
I had never heard of this movie until you guys suggested it.
I remember when it came out in commercials for it and trailers, but it just never appealed to me. Like, I don't know what it was.
I have seen this movie.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy some of the older westerns out there, like the ones with Clint Eastwood. This one, Once Upon a Time in America. Yeah, I do enjoy westerns.
Off air.
I'm kind of excited about the new Kevin Costner one that's coming out.
Oh yeah, I have heard about that one. That sounds good. Off air, you guys told me about Silverado, and it sounds really interesting. I'm excited about it. Actually,
It's a condom brand.
I'm excited. I'm still excited about
I
it.
didn't know it was a movie.
Silverado ribbed for her pleasure.
Yeah, I don't like
Fantastic.
westerns traditionally, so I'm except for maybe like some of the Sergio Leone stuff. So I'm excited to watch this, see what it's like.
I bet you'll like it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
As always, Rabbit Troop sucks.
Microchip.
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 How many microchips should we have tonight?
Microchip.
All of them.
Well, as long as we have microchip.
Microchip.
All right.
I have a handful of microchip.
Microchip.
Rabbit Troop microchip.